6 creations. Well, Maidyo Zarem first Gambar is he created heavens, Maidyo Shem waters, Paiti Shem earth, Ayatrem vegetation, Maidyaram animals, and Hamaspat made him as the human beings. So, if you look at it, fire is not really mentioned. Some people would say, yeah, but when you created heavens, it was with lots of fire and so on. But there is no direct connection of fire with 6th creation of Dada Hormuz. So I'm on slide number 12. Let us go back to the history of how the fire was discovered by the human beings. Of course, that was by rubbing the flames, as you see in the left-hand photo above. Then the invention of the Stone Age, which is shown very well all over. It is the hearth fire in the homes to cook and to heat. And then they covered it with an oven so that the atmosphere doesn't burn it out. And then we use it for cooking and heating. The main thing is the control of fire by early humans was a turning point in the cultural aspect of human evolution that allowed humans to cook food and obtain warmth and protection. And making fire also allowed the expansion of human activity into the dark and colder hours of the night and provided protection from predators and insects. So control of fire is one of the most amazing turning point in the history of humans. I'm on slide number 13. So you say, where in our scriptures or literature anything is explained about the discovery of fire? And of course, it is in Firdausi's Shahnameh. In Firdausi's Shahnameh, it says, the legend has it that King Hoshan, which was the second king of the first mythological Peshtadian dynasty of our religion, was once climbing a mountain when all of a sudden he saw a snake and wanted to hit the snake with a stone. Well, he was not a very good baseball player, let me tell you. He missed the snake, but the stone he threw were rubbed with another stone, and both happened to be flint stones, and so fire broke out and the snake escaped. All of a sudden, the king recognized that this is the discovery of how to light a fire. And he praised Ahura Mazda, who revealed him the secret of lighting a fire. And then he announced, this is a light from God, so we must admire it. And then he started a tradition of really starting what we call now Jashan-e-Sadeh. Jashan-e-Sadeh is a big event followed by Iranians up till now. In Iran.
And Behram, Dhalla.
Yes, thank you, Behram.
Hey, how are you doing?
Okay, guys, now let's get the thing rolling. So the performance of Jashan-e-Sadeh by the Iranians is a very big event. In North America also, all the Iranians do follow that. And so let us start on the 15th and see what kind of festival is this. Sadeh is an ancient, I'm on slide 15, Iranian tradition celebrated 50 days before Nowruz. Sadeh in Persian actually means 100. Well, it is 100 means 50 days and 50 nights before the Nowruz, which is on March 21st. It is a mid-winter festival celebrated with grandeur and magnificence in ancient Iran, festivity to honor fire and defeat the forces of darkness from frost and cold. During ancient time, it was celebrated by lighting a whole night a huge pyre of fire. So even in today's Iran and other places, they first gather all the wood that is available, and then the fire is lit by the mobeds, as you see in lower left-hand corner. And a beautiful sight it is to see this huge fire going. And I like this picture in the middle, in the bottom. The fire is seen through the glasses of Our Lady. The next one then is, this is a big gathering and celebration. It is always done on 30th of January. So it is 25 days from 50 days from the Nowruz. People gather and pray, then hold each other's hand and form a circle and dance around the fire. It is always celebrated on 30th of January, and Jashan-e-Sadeh is really a big event in Iran, and hopefully we should continue doing that even in North America. So, I am on slide number 18. So, fire is needed for cooking and heating. It is needed to keep it burning all the time in the olden days, and to protect it from rain and wind. They started to build little ovens, enclosures like this, as you see. Slide number 19. So the people, upper left-hand corner, people assigned to take care of the fire by feeding it wood, etc. at a central place in the village or town. They may not have a beautiful darimari like the Dallas that you're seeing there. And then the local families. Now this is how I grew up in my little village. I am in the house of a Panthaki, grown up in a Panthaki of this house. Everything was cooked by wood, and the wood chula, as we used to call it, as you see in upper right hand corner. Local families took a portion of the fire in the old days from this place where fire was burning all the time for their heating and cooking, and we call that Dadgah, the place, given place or something. And then in the lower left hand corner there are certain people assigned to be responsible to keep it going all day long so that other people can have it. It was interesting as a sidetrack that the ancient Roman people also have Vestal virgins, as they call it, women, priestesses of goddess Vesta. But I was interested in it because Vesta actually was the goddess of the hearth. So that is the connection I just wanted to show in this. And we go to slide number 20. Upper left hand corner, King Jamshid, according to Shahnameh, divided the society in 4 segments. Atornans, which is priests, Rateshta, warriors, Vastrayos, farmers, and Hutoks, businessmen. Very similar to the old Vedic, where also this separated into the 4 castes, and we talk about it a little later on. So the Atornans, the priests, were responsible then to keep the fire burning. And in the lower left hand corner, we discussed this last time, there were actually no structured buildings in the old days of like Alashkadeh of today. Fires were started in open for prayers on a pedestal, as you see in the beautiful photograph from Iran Shah Atash Behram, and it was originally called Adosht slab. I talked about that in the last Tele Class. And so, as you see on the right hand side, the formal Atashkar is built during the later Achaemenian times, like 400 BC or later. The photograph on the lower right hand corner, some people may recognize. This was the photograph, amazing photograph from National Geographic in 1905 or 1906, and it shows Udvara Atash Behram, which is completely different than what it is right now, without any enclosure there. And there were over 100 mobeds actually in this photograph at Udvara. And I bet you that my father and my kaka must be in this photograph, just as a memory. So, Zarathushtra brought the fire to the court of Gushtaspa when he came to propagate his religion. I am on slide now 22. In our scriptures, fire is given the highest praise. In Atashnias we say, Atash Auremazda Putra, Atash the son of Auramazda. Zarathustra in his Gatha praises Atash very much as the greatest gift of Auramazda. Our scriptures mention that when Zarathustra arrived at the court of Gushtaspa, he was holding the Adar Burzin fire, one of the 3 great fires of the old ancient times, in his right hand, as you see in the photograph, and a sapling of cypress tree with a message inscribed on each leaf saying, Gushtaspa accepts Zarathustra's religion. That is our legend. Atash is present in all our ceremonies, and a mobed continuously tends it by offering dry and fragrant sandalwood and loban, So when a devotee visits a fire temple, she brings dry sandalwood or Kaathi as an offering to the Padshah side. And here we go to see that the Alashkadeh fires are regarded by devotees very sacred and treated with great respect. As at present, devotees bring the Atash Padshah food in form of fragrant sandalwood and loban gear. This is the reason why many of the shops have sprung up to sell the sandalwood and loban and topis and other items. As you see, this shop and our own Tamboli family there in Iran Shah Atash Behram. So what we call is a fragrant wood in Avesta is called Hada Naipata. Hada Naipata, as you see here. And the Ervad Kangaji translates that as in many other trees, but he thinks one of the tree was the pomegranate tree. Okay, so now I am on slide number 24. So what is this Atash Niyay's prayer tells us about Atash when we go to him? So here is the three last paragraph from Atash Niyay's. Very interesting to learn about it. So I start with Vispanam Paracharentam Atash Jasta Aditaya Chim Hakashe Baraiti Fracharetva Varma Shaide. The fire looks at the hands of all comers and says, what does the walking friend, Chim Hakashe Baraiti, bring to the sitting friend? Interesting kind of analogy. Walking friend, bring to the sitting friend. Then it goes on. At yezi sheyam baraiti esmem va ashaya baratem, baresma va ashaya frastaretem, urvaram va hada naipatam. This is that hada naipatam we talked about. So, but if any person brings unto that fire either fuel religiously with sincere heart or baresmam spread. Remember in those days baresman was also made from the twigs of the tree, not the metal wires as we use these days. The fragrant plant called Hadanepata unto that offerer sanctimoniously Atash Mazdao Aurek Shnutat Bisto Dungum. Then the fire of Auram is the being pleased, revered and satisfied, gives a blessing as follows. And it is amazing paragraph coming up. Upatva hakshoid geushvatva. Unto thy family may the flock of cattle increase. Remember, at that time it was all agricultural community, and flock of cattle is actually like the dollars in today's way. Upaviranam pourutas. Unto thee may there be an increase of heroic men. Upatva veresvatacha mano, veresvaticha hakshoit angua. May thou have an active mind, may thy life be active. Urvakshangua gayajigesha tavok shafno yauzavai. Mayst thou live a joyous life, those nights that thou livest. Imatatra frivanem, yoma esmem baraiti, hikush rauchas pairista ashay bereze yozdatam. This is the blessing of the fire for him or her who brings to that fire dry fuel, examined in the light and purified with the blessings of righteousness. We have a very major injunction in our religion not to bring not to bring wet fuel to the fire. This was just an injunction. So this is one of the reasons, and there are many others, that we use to go there and use the sandalwood or Kaathi to give it as a offering to the Atash Padshah. Kayomas Mehta, who is listening, sent me an email saying that he also thinks about it in a little different way. Every time I offer the sandalwood to the Atash Padshah, I remind myself that just as the sandalwood burns up and leaves a sweet aroma behind, I must live my life in such a way that long after I am dead and gone, I will be remembered for all the good deeds that I have done. Thus, offering the sandalwood has a deeper meaning to serve as a self-suggestive reminder to lead a more purposeful and benevolent life. Thank you, Kayomers, for your comment. So here we are done for the first one, and now going to the significance of placing Rakhiyaa ashes on our foreheads, slide number 26 and slide number 27. Rakhiyaa is a Parsi Gujarati word for Rakh in Gujarati, which is ash. At the Atash Behram, Agiyari and Agiyari, after entering the Qibla, the sanctum, we offer our Sukhad to the attending Mabed, who then places it on Atash Padshah, takes the chamach ladle with Rakhiyaa in it, and offers us, and we take a pinch of it by right hand and place it on our forehead. I may want to stop for a minute and say why we call it Atash Padshah. When I was growing up in Udwada Atash Behram and spent my time there for being Navar, Martab and Samil, all three initiation ceremonies, I used to listen to many of the old Yozdatrigar Mabits who would talk about different things, and we used to ask them why you call them Atash Padshah, and he said, when we first came to India, we realized that after millennium of living in under protection of a Padshah,